It's what everyone is talking about. The halftime show that created a whole lot of controversy.
I heard it was an accident.
It was pretty surprising.
Offensive, embarrassing to us and our fans, and inappropriate.
February 1st, 2004, the Patriots versus the Panthers faced off in the biggest football game of the season in Houston, Texas. 90 million people were watching. The game was epic. The halftime show, even bigger. And then, in less than a second, the internet exploded and pop culture changed forever. What's up, y'all? It's True Crime Queen. I'm a former news producer and lifelong journalist. I make videos about pop culture, true crime, and whatever the hell else I want. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, etc. All right, now that that's out the way, let's get back to the story. In 2004, Janet Jackson wasn't just a star, she was a living legend. Her groundbreaking albums including Control, Rhythm Nation, Janet, and The Velvet Rope had broken records, and she had sold more than 20 million records by that point. According to the Recording Industry Association of America, she was a trailblazer for women and for Black artists, headlining world tours, and was everywhere. MTV, the network that was producing the halftime show, wanted an event that would be unpredictable and edgy. They stacked the show with P. Diddy, Nelly, Kid Rock, and of course, Janet Jackson. Janet later revealed that it was actually the third time that she had been asked to perform at the big game, but scheduling conflicts, and often because she was out of the country, had always gotten in the way. But this time, the stars finally aligned. Still known for his fame as a member of NSYNC and riding high from the success of his debut solo album Justified about a year and a half earlier, Justin Timberlake was invited as a special guest for the halftime show, just 2 years into his solo career. During the closing moments of the performance, Janet and Justin performed Justin's hit, Rock Your Body. As Justin sang the line, "I'm gonna have you naked by the end of this song," he reached over and ripped away part of Janet's costume, exposing her breast on live national television, and everyone's panties were twisted. CBS cut away almost instantly, but it was too late. The world had already seen it. The term wardrobe malfunction was born and culture war exploded. According to the British Broadcasting Company, or BBC, Michael Powell, chairman of US media regulator, the Federal Communications Commission, or FCC, who was also the son of former Secretary of State Colin Powell, told a Senate panel that it was a new low for primetime television. Though Janet Jackson became the most searched for person on the internet that year, 2004, her reputation was instantly tarnished.
Now tell us exactly what happened from the time you got up on Super Bowl Sunday to the time the episode took place during the halftime show.
I don't want to relive any of that.
All right.
I mean,
you don't mind if I ask you some questions about it, though? First of all, you knew it was going to happen, right? You didn't know it was going to happen.
No, I didn't.
You didn't know it was going to happen?
No, I didn't.
So it came as a complete surprise to you?
Yes.
Really?
Can we talk about something else, please? I've had a day of interviews, and I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing about it. I know I am. Let's ask you about something else.
I'm not so sure they are sick of hearing about it. That it's this Timberlake guy. Now he kind of went Weasley on you and said, no, I had nothing to do with this. It was not my deal. I didn't know what was going on.
That's what I heard.
Now, did he know what was going on?
No, it wasn't supposed to happen the way that it did, James.
But you know,
Disney World in Orlando even decided to remove a life-size statue of Mickey Mouse dressed in her signature Rhythm Nation outfit. Janet later explained that it was a genuine accident. In a video apology released shortly afterward, she said that a last-minute decision was made for Justin to pull off part of her costume, but it went further than intended.
The decision to change the Super Bowl performance was actually made after the final rehearsal. MTV, CBS, the NFL had no knowledge of this whatsoever, and unfortunately, the whole thing went wrong in the end. I am really sorry if I offended anyone. That was truly not my intention.
2 years later, in 2006, Janet discussed the backlash in an interview with Oprah.
Was it planned, Janet?
No.
It was not planned.
Well, what people don't understand is he was to take and rip the piece off that he did.
The leather piece.
Right, but more came off than what was supposed to.
So he was supposed to pull that off and we just see the red there. And he ripped the whole thing.
Yes.
So he had you practiced or whatever before?
Yes, we did.
Very embarrassing moment.
Yes.
Well, 24 hours after that Super Bowl, Janet issued an apology And I had read in another magazine that you regret making that apology. Is that true? Why?
It was an accident. And management that I had at the time, they thought it was important that I did, you know, with the project coming out. And I had said, actually, before I sat down to record the apology, that I had said to them,
what are you apologizing for?
Yeah, why am I apologizing for an accident?
Well, you did say in the apology you apologized for anybody who might have been offended by it.
Right, and they wanted me to say that, so I did. They thought it was best that I do, so I did. I think they did put all the emphasis on me. And I have to say, just to let people know that Justin has reached out we haven't spoken, but has reached out to speak with me. And like I said, friendship is very important to me, and certain things you just don't do to friends. Yeah. And in my own time, I'll give him a call.
So when you say certain things you just don't do to friends, do you think him ripping the whole thing off? Is that what you're talking about?
No. Certain things were said, supposedly, or that he had said during that whole fiasco. I had heard. And kind of leaving you out there hanging.
So you do feel that he left you hanging?
To a certain degree, yeah.
Okay.
The same year, also in 2006, Justin also addressed the situation, calling it a, quote, wardrobe malfunction, but largely avoided major consequences, which was a double standard that many people pointed out in the years afterward, and honestly to this day.
If you consider it 50-50, I mean, I probably got 10% of the blame, and that, I think that says something about society. You know, I think that America's harsher on women. I think that America's, you know, unfairly harsh on ethnic people. I mean, at the time it was happening, it was so crazy to me, like, that I didn't handle it the best way I could have.
Other celebrities at the time also spoke out about the controversial moment, and we'll take a look at that right now.
Okay, did you call her and say, don't start the small stuff?
Yeah, something like that. Be strong. This too shall pass. Don't worry about it. You know, I've seen worse things.
I think there is a Jackson component. I think there is.
You can say that.
Okay, I just did.
You can say it.
I did. I think it was exaggerated, and I think that the Jackson connection was part of the reason it was exaggerated.
Thank you.
If they're going to worry about, you know, children and what children shouldn't see, I think they should address all issues on TV. I think there's a lot of violence on television as well. And there's a lot of hypocrisy about beating up on Janet Jackson and not a lot of other things that children have access to.
Did you know that YouTube also exists in part because of this accident? Jawed Karim, YouTube's co-founder, said he couldn't find footage of the wardrobe malfunction online, and that frustration inspired him to create YouTube. He told USA Today in 2006, in part, quote, I couldn't find a video of the event online, and it showed me there needed to be a place where people could find videos easily, end quote. Without Janet's halftime moment, YouTube, the site that changed the world, might not exist today. Now, in my research for this video, I also found this clip of Janet, who was promoting her 2007 Tyler Perry movie, Why Did I Get Married? When during her interview, the news anchors thought it would be hilarious to roast her over the incident.
Hey, Janet, anything happened to you at a Super Bowl?
You know, I tell you this. I absolutely am hoping that the Jets go to the Super Bowl this year. I really am.
Speaking of the Super Bowl, Janet, how often do you consider that you single-handedly rocked the broadcast world? Policy around the world, FCC policies have changed, and millions of dollars have changed hands as a result of that single incident at the Super Bowl.
Not only that, Why Did I Get Married? When it opens on the 12th here, I think that people will see what a great actress she is.
Dodging and weaving. Absolutely. Any wardrobe malfunctions in this movie?
Yes, there were actually. I had a few.
Well, if you want to send complaints, we're KXTV Channel 10.
No, it's quite all right. We were warned.
The FCC, the government agency that I told you about before that regulates broadcast content, fined CBS a record $550,000 for violating broadcast indecency standards after the incident. Although, according to a 2008 report from the New York Times, this was later overturned and CBS was cleared of any wrongdoing. The 2004 Grammys aired just 1 week after the halftime show with an extended broadcast delay, reportedly up to 5 minutes. CBS enforced the delay to carefully monitor and censor any potential controversial moments, according to a report at the time from the LA Times. Additionally, Congress passed the Broadcast Decency Enforcement Act of 2005, which President George W. Bush signed into law in 2006. It increased the maximum fine for broadcasting obscene, indecent, or profane materials from $32,500 per violation to $500,000 per violation, according to Congress.gov. Les Moonves, who was the CEO of CBS at the time, was said to have been embarrassed by the incident and was convinced that it wasn't a wardrobe malfunction, but done on purpose just to stir up controversy. Moonves banned Janet and Justin from the 2004 Grammys broadcast, Post, airing on CBS the week after the halftime show. But Justin was allowed to perform after he apologized for the incident, according to the Huffington Post.
Listen, I know it's been a rough week on everybody, and what occurred was unintentional, completely regrettable, and I apologize if you guys are offended. I already got enough, Thank you, I don't know what to say. This is officially the greatest moment of my life. Thank you.
The article goes on to say that Moonves was furious that Janet didn't make a direct apology to him, and the fallout from the incident caused significant damage to Janet's career, which until that point had produced 10 #1 hits. According to the Huffington Post report, Moonves ordered Viacom properties, VH1 and MTV, and all of Viacom-owned radio stations to stop playing Janet's songs in music videos. The move had a huge impact on the sales of her album, Demita Joe, which was released in March 2004, just a month after the halftime show. The record was her lowest selling album since 1984. Commercially, the album eventually was certified platinum, which means it sold about 1 million units in the United States. But those sales were drastically lower than those of her previous albums, including All For You and The Velvet Rope, which were certified 2 times and 3 times platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America. A major point of controversy, particularly among Janet's Black fans, including me, was the reaction from the wardrobe malfunctions fell solely on Janet's shoulders, even though Justin was the one who actually pulled the fabric to reveal her breast. While Janet's career was significantly damaged, Justin's flourished. But fast forward to 2018, Moonves was accused by multiple women of harassment and assault, leading to his resignation from CBS. According to an investigative report from Ronan Farrow, who is the son of actress Mia Farrow and filmmaker Woody Allen, in The New Yorker, published in late July of that year, 6 women, including actress Ileana Douglas and writer Janet Jones, who say they professionally dealt with Moonves between the 1980s and late 2000s, accused him of sexual misconduct. In 2018, the same year the Ronan Farrow report was published, Moonves was let go from his position as chairman and CEO at CBS. However, it's worth noting that his wife, Julie Chen Moonves, is still the host of reality competition show Big Brother on the network, as of the making of this recording. About 7 years after the halftime show, Justin was featured on the track Role Model by the artist Free Soul. In the music video for the song, a girl briefly lifts up her shirt and shows her breasts, which are censored in a clear reference to the halftime incident. Almost 20 years later, after years of silence and after the Framing Britney Spears documentary reignited criticism, Justin posted a public apology on his Instagram account in 2021. He wrote, quote, "I am deeply sorry for the times in my life where my actions contributed to the problem, where I spoke out of turn or I did not speak up for what was right. I understand that I fell short in these moments and in many others and benefited from a system that condones misogyny and racism. I specifically want to apologize to Britney Spears and Janet Jackson both individually because I care for and respect these women and I know I failed." End quote. The post was later deleted. For many, the apology felt too little too late. Despite the apology, Justin's attempts to reclaim his former pop dominance had already started showing cracks. In 2018, more than a decade after the infamous halftime incident, Justin was invited to headline the halftime show again, but this time as a solo act. Ahead of the performance, reports came out that Justin had reached out to Janet to join him on stage in a symbolic reunion. However, Janet later declined the offer. According to Entertainment Tonight, she cited her history with CBS as a reason, a subtle clear reference to how she was treated in the aftermath of the 2004 scandal. Further complicating his public image, Justin was arrested in June 2024 for driving while intoxicated in Sag Harbor, New York. According to ABC News, he later pleaded guilty to a lesser charge, resulting in a $500 fine, $260 service charge, and a requirement to complete 25 hours of community service.
Apparently, her wardrobe person came up with it. Justin literally rehearsed it once in her dressing room before they went out on stage. And I think the big mistake was that he was supposed to pull it off on song, and he pulled it off on end. So it was up for like 2 seconds instead of 15 frames. So also there was like a red lace thing that I think was supposed to stay on. So he went, "Gonna have you naked by the end of this song," instead of "Gonna have you naked by the end of this song." So I will say this. MTV, no matter who anybody believes it or not, knew nothing about it. We knew about the tearaway skirt. We didn't know anything about the other thing. she was devastated because my stage manager was on the side of the stage, and Janet was sobbing, and she put like a blanket around her. But then immediately the NFL got on, like literally within 30 seconds, they were doing like a press conference and like chastising MTV and saying that we held them hostage and that we did this and we did that. And I was deposed by lawyers. It was unfortunate, and I don't know why she chose to do it, because I think she was above all that other stuff that all the pop stars were doing at the time.
Byria Daly, the body piercer, in a 2017 interview with USA Today, said it was the week of the big game when Wayne Scott Lucas walked in Torian Piercing and Metal Shop in Houston. Lucas, according to Daly, identified himself as Janet Jackson's stylist and said he was looking for nipple jewelry for her. Lucas settled on a sunburst nipple shield that she wore during the halftime show, according to Daly. Daly also told USA Today, quote, "At the end of it, while we were talking, he," meaning Janet's stylist, "was like, okay, watch the halftime show. There's gonna be a surprise at the end." End quote. Daly further elaborated on the incident in a 2018 interview with Houston TV station KHOU.
Oh yeah, my friends introduced me as the man who sold Janet Jackson her nipple shield. It became such a big scandal.
He'll never forget the hint the stylist dropped before leaving.
Watched the Super Bowl halftime show, and there's a surprise at the end.
Now, it's worth noting that in a 2021 interview with Page Six, Janet's stylist, Wayne Scott Lucas, said that Justin pushed for the wardrobe malfunction in an attempt to outdo Britney Spears, Madonna, and Christina Aguilera, who had shocked the world months earlier by engaging in a three-way kiss at the 2003 MTV Video Music Awards. Wayne said Justin, quote, "insisted on doing something bigger than their performance. He wanted a reveal," end quote. Wayne told Page Six that the original concept was for Janet to be in a pearl G-string inspired by the one that Kim Cattrall had worn in an episode of Sex and the City. Wayne told the publication, quote, "Janet was going to be in a Rosha dress and Justin was going to step on the back of her dress to reveal her butt in this pearl G-string, but the outfit changed a couple days before and you saw the magic. I wouldn't call it a wardrobe malfunction in a million years. It was the most functioning wardrobe in history. As a stylist, it did what it was intended to do," end quote. In her A&E documentary, Janet addressed the incident again, saying, quote, "Justin and I have moved on, and it's time everyone else did too. He and I are good friends, and we will always be good friends," end quote. She emphasized forgiveness and the need to stop clinging to the past. Despite everything, Janet Jackson's influence only grew stronger. She was inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2019. Janet didn't just survive the scandal, she transcended it. Today, Janet Jackson is recognized not as a victim of unfair media attacks, but as a true pioneer whose resilience shaped modern pop culture. The media tried to define Janet Jackson for an incident that lasted 9/16 of a second. Instead, Janet defined herself. And if you're watching this video on YouTube right now, you partly have her to thank for that too. So what's your opinion of the 2004 Super Bowl? Were you watching? Do you think it was an accident? Do you think it was planned? Are you a fan of Janet Jackson or Justin Timberlake? Let me know in the comment section down below. I love you for watching. Bye.